Hi, welcome to Well Rounded Momma's YouTube channel. Thanks for joining us. My name is Sherry. I'm joined by Cora. We are both home birth midwives in the Las Vegas area. Today we're talking about prenatal care. Some of that specifically, where can you seek it in the town of Las Vegas? Hopefully you find this video helpful. If you do, like, subscribe, ring the bell, share with your friends. So prenatal care, you find out you're pregnant.
Super exciting.
It's time to find a care provider and start your first prenatal care visit. Finding a care provider, we've made a video on and we might expand on that, but today we're going to specifically talk about where you can seek out prenatal care. So in our town, you have 3 options of prenatal care. One is through a physician and their practice. We have one working birth center here, ran by a certified nurse midwife. And then we have about 40 different home birth midwives in the state of Nevada. You can seek out prenatal care through a home birth midwife. Now that looks a little bit different. I believe we've made a video about the difference in prenatal care between a physician and a midwife. However, let's talk a little bit about where you seek it out, when you come, what you're looking for at that first visit. Midwives generally see our clients anytime between 6 and 10 weeks for their first prenatal visit. Cora, you want to tell a little bit about what people can expect when they come to their first prenatal appointment?
So the first thing I usually do is take like a history intake form and getting them set up into our systems. We get them on chart started and we go over some of that. They also sign a midwifery contract, maybe go over like some insurance information, gathering insurance info. And then the rest of that visit, I usually go over how they're feeling, especially depending on where they're at in their pregnancy. If they're having like some morning sickness, we talk like about some nutrition. I usually will talk about that in my first visit.
The first visit is really about establishing care. Yeah. Obviously, we want to touch base with you and see how you're doing, but it really is about establishing a chart, establishing prenatal care, getting some of those kind of administration things out of the way, such as financial stuff and medical histories. Now, midwives do sometimes work a little different. Like for me, I don't ever do a medical history at the first appointment. There are some medical history questions that I ask because I want to know those things before I ever touch somebody. However, like going through a deep medical history, maybe that happens in another appointment. Or I know sometimes when you see a physician, they might pull labs on you initially at that appointment. If you're in your first trimester, most midwives kind of want to wait till you're feeling a little bit better before we're taking any blood from you. So there's like a few little nuances and differences, but for the most part, that first prenatal appointment is all about establishing a care. I like that because then my clients now have my phone number, they have my contact information, they know what I look like. So if something comes up for you, you have someone that you can call. Now, when it comes to prenatal care, everybody kind of follows the same schedule when it comes to OBs or midwives, and that is seeing you every month up until about 28 weeks, and then we're seeing you every 2 weeks. And that's really common. Sometimes it's closer after 36 weeks, just depends on the care provider seeing, and it certainly is weekly once you go past your due date. We have a lot of individuals in this town who don't seek out prenatal care, and maybe it's because they had like a bad experience or they were mistreated. You know, the hospitals try to run programs for those that kind of are trapped in that middle of not necessarily making so little that they can't get state funding, but they don't necessarily have health insurance or the ability to pay cash. There's a lot of hospital programs, and sometimes individuals feel a little lost in those hospital programs. However, the hospital programs are a really good way to at least seek out prenatal care. We made a video last week about supportive pregnancy, and we're trying to fill in some of those gaps. I just had a really great meeting at Henderson Hospital talking about how we could fill in the gaps of prenatal care for those that have a really hard time being able to seek that out, whether that is transportation issues or whether that is maybe they had a bad experience before. Our goal as midwives is for you to have a great experience, for you to have a point of contact, a point of reference, and making sure that you and baby are fine. Like 10 minutes of that appointment is diagnostic. The rest of it is really getting to know you and helping you prepare for labor, birth, and parenthood. Anything that I'm missing, Cora?
I don't think you're missing anything, but I just really love prenatal care because it's a chance for me to get to know my clients and for us to build this trust relationship so that you know who I am prior to going into labor. So I really love that prenatal process because we get to establish these wonderful connections because we're not just spending like 10 minutes with you, we're spending that like 45 minutes with you.
And that is a really good point you bring up. I have so many people who really want a home birth and they maybe like cost is an issue, so they think, oh, can I just pay for the delivery? No midwives are going to do that or sign up for that because we always want to know what we're investing in.
Yeah.
And a lot of that investment happens during your prenatal care. Never let that keep you from reaching out to a care provider to seek out care, because finding someone to talk to in your pregnancy, I think, is really important from an emotional standpoint, spiritual standpoint, and physical standpoint. But yeah, just like Cora said, it's an opportunity to get to know our clients. I just met with one of the physicians at Henderson Hospital. It was interesting. We ended up talking for over an hour, and he was like, aren't you afraid to go into people's homes? Like, what if there's a confrontation, or what if there's a, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, it's never happened. Like, we might all have one story where there was like a moment where we kind of felt like the home wasn't maybe a safe space for anyone to be, per se. But for the most part, because we've put in that opportunity to get to know our clients, we go in and we feel at home. He's like, but what if you're there for 48 hours and you just sleep? I'm like, well, we sleep on the couch, or we sleep in our car, or we
Sleep on the floor.
go grab a bite to eat, or, you know,
Yeah.
it's all about making sure that mom and baby are monitored and supported during her labor. When we establish that kind of relationship, it's safe for care provider, it's safe for client, and it's safe for partners and anybody else involved in your birth and your delivery. So we're big fans of prenatal care.
You should do it.
You should do it. If you are interested and would like to know more, you can reach us at our office number. It's 702-478-5080. All consultations are free, and we would love to talk to you about prenatal care and get you put into a system where you feel most comfortable and most safe. There's a lot of physicians who will even sometimes work with us as we try to kind of navigate through what you're going through and what you need. And so never hurts to have a conversation with the care provider. But those are your three options in the Valley of Las Vegas of where you can seek out prenatal care. Congrats on your pregnancy. Good luck. We look forward to seeing you next week.
We're gonna remember that?
Yep.
I already forgot it, so I'm gonna reread it real fast in my head.
You brought up something else that made me think of something, darn it. Getting to know you. I don't know, the thought left this old lady.
We'll never know.
We'll never.
We'll never know.
No, I'll remember it too. That's in the moment I turn off the camera.